This video is brought to you in association with Funded Today. Funded Today helps you get more pledges for your Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaign with professional video and design. Links are in the video description below. Thank you. Let's get on with the show. Welcome back, Talk Funders. Now we're going to do a backstory on Thinking Hut. Maggie, you've assembled an amazing team for your nonprofit. And let's just use the backstory to really look at who is involved in the About Us. So let's start with the slightly embarrassing photographs of our founder, Maggie. So as you mentioned earlier, Maggie, you were adopted from rural China. And in one sense, this has been your inspiration really for this whole project, the Thinking Huts project.
Yes, it really has. I think that a lot of people don't realize how impactful education access can be and how different people's lives are across the ocean. I think that here in the US, especially, just me having that different contrast of how my life could have been, I really view things differently. And I hope that through this project, I can show people how different people's lives are in countries that just don't have access to the same things, such as infrastructure.
And then going from this very young age and then being brought to the United States and growing up in the States. And then as you were sharing in the main interview about this dream that you had about 6 years ago in your dad's office in Colorado, saying, Dad, why can't we, create schools, rural schools for people?
Yeah, it's crazy to think it was so long ago, but I think I just believed in it so much. And I was told I was crazy for about 4 years, but it's only recently that 3D printing has really taken off. And now people are seeing, oh, wow, like this is actually feasible and it could actually change the world and solve a real problem that we're facing.
And it really has taken off because once we start working through the About Us, we can see that you have some amazing people in your team. So let's just look at the Meet Our Board of your nonprofit, Thinking Huts. And we'll just glance down this board. So you have Daryl Hobbs.
Yes, he's incredible. He's a lawyer at Microsoft, and that's such an important aspect to have with a nonprofit too. Like you don't have the capital to be outsourcing things such as legal experience. So
Thank you. And then Antonio, is that how you pronounce his name?
yes, Antonio. He is the professor that really shaped us starting the first school at the university campus. He actually teaches at this university. So he offers great perspectives, and he was born and raised in Madagascar too.
Oh, so he has a really heartfelt desire for this project really to come to fruition.
Yes.
And he's the link into that university that you talked about in the main interview where you want to build the pilot project.
Exactly. So he's been super helpful with that.
And here's Harry.
Yes, my dad,
Your
the
dad.
person who believed in me from the very beginning. He's one of the co-founders of MapQuest. That's a well-known service that used to be really prominent here in the US before Google Maps and such took that over.
Okay. And Asif?
Yes, he has a lot of nonprofit experience. He comes from an international development background, so that really rounds us out too.
It really does, doesn't it? And then Joan Silver.
Yes, Joan is very experienced in marketing, so she's been helpful with all that type of thing, like SEO and things that you really don't really think about when you're doing these campaigns.
Fantastic. Well, that's the start. That's your board. Now let's look at some of your advisors. And here were your 3 advisors, or oh, sorry, 5 advisors here. So there's Axel. He's in the Madagascar himself, is he?
Yes, he works in the president's office, which is very helpful just to have that government link there.
And then Laurence.
Yeah, she was born in Madagascar, but she lives in New York right now, and she's interested in sustainability within the furniture business. So we're also going to hopefully use her experience when we're furnishing our schools.
Fantastic. And then Lewis, is it?
Yes, he is based in Abu Dhabi, but he was also there from the very beginning, before we really took off at all. And he helped me really understand the supply chain processes that need to go into actually realizing the project.
And Carrie.
Yes, the CEO of the Global Good Fund, which is another organization here in the US, and she's been very helpful in terms of offering her insights as a woman entrepreneur, because I think that's also a barrier here that we face, especially in the US. I think only 2% of women receive venture funding compared to everything else. And then in terms of the CEOs, that's only 5%. So there's a lot of work to be done there.
Well, fair play to you, Maggie. You're really cutting a good path for yourself. So well done. And and Fabian, just to finish off.
Yes, he actually is a co-founder with Antonio on another venture called Cognitive Atlas that they work on. And that focuses on deep tech solutions and also technology transfer. So that also ties in what we hope to do.
Fantastic. So it's really solid board, really solid advisors. And now let's meet our team. And here's your good self again, Maggie. And then you've got Miriam, is it?
Yes, I met her about 2 years ago over an email, and she really rounds it out because I'm very much into like the business operation side of things, but she's more interested in engineering side of things, which is very important. So the technical aspects of her project, and she's a computer science and electrical engineer. So it's very helpful, especially when we're getting into the topics such as solar energy and how much power is required to run the schools.
Yeah, I'm just reading here in her bio. Mariam is a Yale University double major in electrical engineering and computer science. Oh my God. Brains to burn, brains to burn.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And then meet our architects. Is Amir, is that correct? And
Yes.
Anna.
He's in Portugal right now, and then Anna is in France, but Amir really aligns with my vision for things. I remember telling him my vision for the beehive design, and then he really turned that into a reality. Because for so long, it just lived in my head, and he made these renders that really was like my vision come to life.
I mean, if your team is in the go by, it's already a global project. You've got team members all from all over the world at the moment. You know, it's great. Oh, sorry, and just we forgot about Anna.
Yeah, so she works with Amir, and she does a lot of the design work. So she helped a lot with creating the renders as well.
Fantastic. And then obviously she's French speaking, which is really great for Madagascar. And
Yes.
then lastly, the partners. Okay, this first one, learn.
Yes, the university campus we're planning to build the first school with.
Okay. And how do you say the name of the city again in Madagascar?
Sienna Ranso.
Fiona Renzo. Okay. And then second one is dream. That's
Yes.
that's your team members studio. And build. What's this build now?
Yes, the construction materials. So Lavarge Holcim has a manufacturing plant within Madagascar. So we're planning to use them for the cement materials.
Fantastic. And I just want to draw people back to the actual Thinking Huts website if you really do want to visit and read up more about the project. There's great tabs here about the vision, the roadmap, the past projects, etc., which we can just mention that in passing. Just to look at these think boxes. What was a think box, or what is a think box?
They're care packages we sent out, specifically Dominican Republic and Guatemala. And so these included basic necessities to help within existing orphanages or schools.
So really, this is like just showing everybody in the GoFundMe that, you know, there's capacity here to deliver. You've already done a project before, and in this case, it was Think Boxes Care Projects, care packages.
Yes.
And this is what it's all about, folks. I mean, we really just want to grow this from these think boxes now you want to do, the next major step is getting the funding for the pilot project in Madagascar. And it's all about the future. And what was the gap, the opportunity gap? Isn't that what you were talking about?
Yes.
And if we round it off from like the start of the main interview, whenever we were talking, it was like, what's 1.5 billion children have been impacted, their schooling has been impacted due to COVID-19. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
There was another figure of 260 million children. What was that related to?
Those are the students specifically out of school.
So yes, over a quarter of a billion kids are out or no school at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. And then to bring it into the local context of Madagascar, the figure again was that there's 1.3 million children of primary age, and 60% of them are not getting any schooling.
Yes, exactly. It's very eye-opening to see the figures there, and I hope that we can hopefully make an impact in that area.
If you think of the geniuses that are probably just sitting there in rural Madagascar, you know what I mean? I always remember that thing of, remember Steve Jobs was a Syrian, he's the child of Syrian refugees coming to the United States. If you just look at these kids here, there's so many great lives themselves and so much probably creativity, innovation within their lives. And this Thinking Box project is really putting in, it's a really interesting project itself, but really the whole end goal is to build these schools, but fill them with children so that they can get educated. The 1.5 billion kids who are not getting proper education at this moment.
Yeah, it's all about unlocking the human potential. That's something I was talking about in my TED Talk I recorded last weekend. So I just think that education provides the key to unlock it, and getting kids in school is a pivotal part in doing that.
Okay, now you're telling me you've just done a TED Talk. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll not talk too much about you've done a TED Talk and it's online now. So we'll put that in the video description below for any other people who want to go and watch that. And I just want to bring it back to the GoFundMe campaign, which you've relaunched on the back of your World Economic Forum article in February 2021. We've now relaunched this GoFundMe, which has helped to build the first 3D printed school in Madagascar. I'm not going to try to say the university name again. So it's live in GoFundMe. Please donate. Well, thank you very much, Maggie from Thinking Huts. I am truly inspired by everything, but particularly by your young entrepreneurial Gen Z spirit that really wants to go out and not only contribute, but to help transform this world for the better. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.